Good, good, good. It's been a long time. Oh my lord. Such a long time since I've done one of these, especially in the dark. Well, not really in the dark, but you know. So, I wanted to do a podcast again. It's been a long while. I'm sitting in an open Discord channel. Anyone can join me on my own server. The link is down below in the description as usual. Just let me get a drink of this real quick. It's about close to 10 o'clock at night. I need a sip of this anyway, so. Can Baja Blast. Still hard to fucking find anywhere for some goddamn reason, right? I don't know why. So, let me tell all of you about the bullshit that is basic job interviews, basic function. Now, today's society, as a whole society, by the way, most of them have disabilities. Most of us have social anxiety. Some of us stutter, will say, or whatever. Or, during a sentence. Like, we'll say, I had a job here, and, I also had a job there, and I did this. It's like, that's your first thought to initially say something. You'll say, but at these job interviews, they're fucking viewing you down with, like, the cranial anal scope to look at you down to your fucking core to make sure that you're an okay guy, that you're not fucking insane, that you're doing everything okay by the books. It's like, goddamn, like, really, if you get to that point, why even hire? Why even hire people? You know, like, at that point, just program robots. If you're going to be that super critical about human beings. Like, realistically, employment rates are down, and we have... Let's go back to our original system. Back in, like, say, before computers were, everywhere and relevant, like, as in 95 and further. Let's go back even further. Let's go back to the 70s, right? You'd go into a place, you get an asshole at the desk, asshole boss, sit there with a fucking cigar, light one up, you're like, why the fuck should I hire you, kid? You get a person like that, and you go in, you try to get the fucking job, you kiss his fucking ass or whatever. Maybe it's some sexual misconduct, you suck him, you blow him underneath the fucking goddamn counter or whatever. If you're a girl, obviously, maybe be able to get that, be like, Kamala Harris or something, blowing off a black politician to get her fucking position, right? As a vice president, VP of blowjobs. But let's not talk about politicians tonight. Today is about jobs, and not just one irrelevant person. That's just an example of how people can move up the chain without even doing any work. You could also say and argue, oh, well, family ties get you that favoritism position, or you have somebody at your own workplace is a complete fucking douchebag that is late to work, gets paid more than you, doesn't do his job, sits on his phone, chills out on his break, he or she, and they don't do dick. And you outdo them every time. And you don't get employee of the month, you don't get any benefits, you just get a huge fuck you, pretty much, to your face for all your hard work and dedication as an actual worker. It's nuts. I just want to check my audio real quick. Okay, I'm good. My point is, like, when you get to the point when you're an employer, and you don't want to hire people specifically because, their hours are an inconvenience to you, or, and I'm not making this as an example because I literally just went out and I did for whatever the fuck reason, this is still foreign to me, a video record call interview. Where I recorded a video and then went live with a representative and then spoke to them. And I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, the fuck is this shit? What is this coming to? Why couldn't I just come to your warehouse or whatever, or your office, wherever I was getting the job? In this case, it was FedEx or whatever, but it didn't matter. But, like, why couldn't I just fucking come there and just be like, yo, I got all these abilities, I could use forklift, this, that, and I'd love to work in the back room warehouse where I could fucking get away with saying and thinking all this nonsensical shit and screaming and hollering and acting like an asshole. And that's me. That's me to it down to a fucking T. I enjoy that kind of fucking work. I know it doesn't pay well, but hey, it pays at least something, so that way I have some free time to come online and do all the research gaming and all the shit that I ever want in my lifetime. That's what makes me fucking happy. So if I could put a little bit of time down to the side for that, and be able to come back and do this, that's fucking perfect for me. But what's not perfect is all these fucking employers out here that, by the way, for years, that whole employees' rights thing is complete fucking bullshit. They never fucking follow that. Really gets me. Really does. Let me tell you an example of what pisses me off about the employment system in the US. And unfortunately, every other country nearly tries to copy our system, and it doesn't fucking work because even our schools are stupid. Because the word retarded was mandated out, and they were doing field tests with a military officer. The word retarded was said to never be used in schools. Autism was not supposed to be used in schools as a measurement to separate students and stuff. That was originally said by a military leader to never put that in schools in the US, and we ended up doing it anyway. So, fuck schools. That's not going to help employment because they're already tarnished enough in the US. With snowflakeism, which is something I'm heavily against. I hate snowflakeism. Fuck off with your shit. You don't like the sensitivity? Suck a cock. You don't like being yelled at? Eat a dick. You're going to get yelled at in fucking work environment, regardless. You're going to hear an argument at some point, regardless. Even if you're in a safety bubble or a non-bullshit bubble. I'm in a non-bullshit bubble. Guess what? I still hear people bitching and complaining sometimes. Not as often because they know around me I'm lax. You look at my attitude. You look at all the shit I've done. The shit I can create. Look at the fucking room I'm in. You know, it's like when you get to my level and you have my level of self-respect, self-control, and options, I don't need to be a piece of shit. But when you have screening, let's go to the employment policies, in the federal employment policies, mind you. So every state's a little bit different, but here in New Jersey, I'm pretty sure it is, you get fined if you do not screen or attempt to hire actively. You'll rack up fines, not really fines, but more like fees, surcharges or shit like that. Just because that you're not actively hiring to keep the employment rates up in that individual state. So they'll charge people if they're not attempting to do interviews. So what most employers do, and this pisses me the fuck off to no fucking end because it wastes your time, they will screen you, they'll call you the fuck in, you'll go in there, you'll spend an hour outside their office, sitting there sweating, you know, trying to not sit there and pull out your phone and text so that you think that it's not an important job or anything. You're there, you're sitting there, you're giving your full attention to this thing. Maybe you actually want it. Maybe it pays you, you know, maybe it's a casino job. You're working, you get $50 a fucking hour as a, you know, a card handler or some shit. Or fucking an absorbent amount of money in general. Or maybe an actual profession job. Maybe fixing cars for $40 a fucking hour on salary. You know, it's like, you don't know what the fuck you're gonna get into. But when you go into these interviews, and you see these kids on their phones outside playing the fuck around, and they're sitting the fuck down. They're younger than you, or whatever. And then they go in and they get the job over you, or they just don't give them the job at all. And then it's your turn, and then you just get screened through. It's like, okay, go fuck yourself. We don't care. Fuck off. But then, what really irks me is they only screen you to get around fees. So they'll call you in for interview. Hey, Johnny D, get the fuck in here. We're gonna interview you. Oh, but by the way, we're not gonna tell you. We're gonna listen to you, pretend we give a fuck, and then we're gonna send you on your way. We'll call you back, but not really. You know, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, jack me the fuck off under the table. We're not gonna call you. You know, what we're going to do is basically say, fuck you, send you away, and then that way we could say that we tried to interview you. And that we can tell that to the state to get around fees. So when you get to that point, and you're running a company like that, and you're refusing to interview people because of the fact that you don't want to hire people, why even have a business at all? I get, like, employment costs of hiring another person on, and all that fun shit. And it's a fucking, it can be a nightmare sometimes. Not a PR nightmare, because it's not affecting the general public, but it could if you sit there and constantly ignore people. Imagine if fucking Microsoft did that, right? How many people does Microsoft need? Or YouTube? Even YouTube. How many people do they hire a year? Think about that. How many people does it take to run the YouTube headquarters? Possibly thousands. Because people use this fucking platform almost every other fucking day to jack off their own fucking ego. So when you sit there and you think about it, do you think they're going to spend the time to sit there and ignore screening? No, they're not. They're going to fucking try to take every single thing that they get seriously. Now, I'm still irked by the old way of hiring too. Let me change the subject a little bit from the federal stance on, employing people to keep employment rates up to make our country look good. Let me change this for a second. Have you ever gone to a job interview and you get sat down and they go and use the basic open-ended questions, the open-ended job interview questions, like name a time where you had a disagreement with an employee or coworker in this case. What was the issue? How do you describe it? And how did you fix it on agreement? How did you come to terms with it? And you would sit there and think, oh, well, let me talk about my past work experiences. They don't want you to do that. They really don't. What they want out of that kind of a question, and you could sit there and rant and say anything at that point. You could jack off your own ego. But the only purpose of that kind of question is to throw people off guard, to not say it. So you suck at work too. Big deal. Look at you. Still in interview clothes. I'm not. I actually put them back on as the joke. That's part of the joke for the stream. I boasted about having money and cars. Dude, have you been watching my channel? I haven't said that. Why would I boast about that? Sorry, man. I don't think you watching the same person. So, yeah. Just gonna time you out. So anyway, back to my whole topic. Trying to derail that. I mean, fucking really, I'm not even talking about fucking monies or cars, any of that bullshit. But seriously, man, get out of here. My point is for this, right? When you go into a job and they start opening with those open-ended questions, a lot of people that have the social problems, anxiety problems, which are the numbers that are still collecting unemployment, the numbers that have been out of work for years, that have been collecting their extension after extension COVID paychecks while they've been out on unemployment. I'm no such fucking person, but I know people that have been doing that, unfortunately. And it's mainly because, not because anyone wouldn't hire them, it's because of certain questions like that, because people wouldn't know how to answer that off the bat without having to research it ahead of time to actually give the shit. Some people just think that if they go in and they're honest and they go in, that they'll get the job, and if they're lucky. And that's how they feel most of the time. It shouldn't be like that in a country where our employment rate should be on high and that we should be giving a shit. Unfortunately, most employers don't give a shit. If you don't study that type of shit or expect that when you're going in or not have it ready, they don't give a shit for you. They'll throw you off the bridge. They'll be like, all right, you're not fucking relevant enough. Go fuck off. It's like when you do open-ended questions, people don't know how to respond to it. Now, imagine that's your first job interview that you ever go to, and you're still a kid, you're 16, and you hit that, and it's like, how the fuck do you respond to this? The kid doesn't have fucking job experience. He's 16. You gotta think, what would a 16, 17, 18-year-old minor into adult go and look at a basic job interview with open-ended questions with no experience? How the fuck are they gonna respond to that? Maybe they have Asperger's or something, or autism, or some kind of fucking thing on the spectrum where they have a different level of intelligence that is different from your own. How do they gauge you? They're just going to say, well, he failed the open-ended questions. You'll just write it off on the checklist. Be like, all right, fail. All right, he's no good. Next person. But not say it to him, obviously. Just sit there, smile. Yeah, thank you. No. Hey, thank you. Well, we'll call you. It's like, bro, it is a huge fucking waste of people's time. When you get to that fucking expenditure, why even bother in the first place? Give me one hot minute. Maybe back to what I was doing. My problem is, when you get to the fucking point, and I don't care, I do have money in cars. I don't fucking rant and rave about that. I don't rub it into people's face, so you can completely fuck off with that earlier comment, my guy. My problem that I'm having is with the general United States employment methods and how the policies with the federal government pushing employment rates, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, what sense did it make for the Department of Treasury, mind you, to give out a stimulus check that was only $600 to everyone and then not give anything out for several months and then turn around and say, okay, we're going to give you another $1,200. Oh, and by the way, we'll give you another $1,200. It's like, where the fuck do these decisions come from? And who the fuck can survive if they lost their main job, by the way, and I wasn't one of them people, thankfully. How do you go from, and I know people that have lost their job because of the COVID outbreak, and it fucking sucked, but how do you go from getting a $600 stimulus check and then not having any work for an expenditure of fucking several months, and then only finally getting another stimulus check? Your job's not available. Maybe you were a casino worker in this case. One of my moderators on Discord, Frico, that's his job employment. He cares much for his job, and when the casino got shut down from COVID, and all of them did because they're not essential, he lost his work. Just like some other people lost their work. It's not, I mean, I shouldn't be throwing his business out there, but the thing I'm trying to get at is everyone has lost their work from certain types of fucking stupid ass bullshit. Now, am I saying that the COVID outbreak and the casino should have been shut down? Shouldn't have been? No, it should have been. It should have been shut down for COVID outbreak because it's been killing old people, and that's what the majority of the fucking casino people are anyway. You know, I get it. Shut it down for that fucking reason though, but don't give them just $600 to survive for half a year. That's like, and our federal government did that. So the point I'm trying to make is when your federal government can't even make a proper fucking decision and wait half a year for another stimulus check and unemployment that doesn't even cover their fucking car insurance for the month, if they're lucky, plus their bills, phone bill, internet, electric, gas, water, utility. By the time that's all fucking done, they'll be owing at least, you know, upward to a couple thousand a month for every month that they're not working. Close to it. Yeah, it's fucking insane. And when you start to look at numbers when you're not working, it's fucking nuts. Now, I was working that whole fucking pandemic. The whole fucking time. Now, people might be saying, well, why are you in job interview clothes and doing all that? It's because I'm still working. I actually, for the last 2 years, I have held 4 jobs at the same time. And I still have time to do this. That's that's an insane amount. But I still do it. I'm not, like, pushing it. I'm not trying to rub it in your fucking face. Oh, look, I got 4 fucking jobs. Go fuck yourself. No, I'm just saying, I've done that. I have the experience to say that it fucking sucks to be crazy enough to work all that. I got black bags underneath my eyelids that you would think are fucking, like, bruises from getting punched in both eyes every day. Just like right along here. Right along under here. No amount of makeup can get that fucking going. It's just permanently black. Like, from being up all night and working. Like at these hours. I put a couple hours aside every now and then to do a podcast like this. So that way I can still keep up to date. And I still have people that come by and watch my content. They're my pals and stuff. And, you know, whatever else. But, you know, it's still crazy. It fucking really is. I don't get, like, how can you have an employment system that not only you're advocating just regular call screens to get around the whole hiring thing, but then they don't even put, like, our federal government doesn't put a federal bracket requirement of how many people they need to hire in order to not get feed or their surcharge or whatever the fuck that policy is. Because certain employment places, they'll be charged for certain things. For example, and this is completely irrelevant to this, but this is just one example of state and federal government regulations going to shit. In the state of New Jersey, arcade machines can no longer be quarter machines. If you have one machine that is a quarter machine, you are charged $100 a month just to have that machine, a quarter machine. And it better be making you more than $100 to be fucking relevant and worth it. So the only way to get around that is to put it on free play and charge entry to use all the machines, which I've seen some businesses do that, or a credit system where you can only use a card type, a credit card, on all the machines. They wanted it regulated that down to the spec. But, oh no, if you have one that's a quarter machine or a penny machine, oh, yep, you're fucked. That's $100. So all them dimes and nickels machines you used to fucking remember seeing around, they might be in the major casinos, but they get away with it because they can convince those people, yeah, we make all this money, and you don't have to charge us for a coin machine, and the politicians will turn around and let it happen. And there's no fees to that, but the small businesses, unfortunately, will suffer that. So once you have one thing in place, another thing gets affected. When you close one door opens. That's all there really is to that part. But again, you got to think about all these people that are very quiet, very antisocial, very depressed, possibly drug addicted, that can get off the fucking streets, that want to work, that want a warehouse job, but can't get it because they are unable to socialize correctly because of all the shit that's going on in their lives. They're so fucked in the head that they can't even get a proper job to go through all them open-ended questions, to go through a basic video interview where I got to send the video in and then talk to someone live like this. Now, you could ask yourself, well, what if they find this video? You just went live. It was yesterday. I don't have to bother with it. I spoke to them yesterday. It already happened. They don't know who I am on here. And it don't really matter if they do or they find out they don't. I'm not in the same interview clothes, believe it or not. So my point is, when it comes to basic business and how to accept practice on paper to get people employed, the biggest issue right now is if you've been unemployed, and this is the truth, by the way, the absolute truth, if you have been unemployed for over 1 year during this COVID pandemic, the chances of you getting a job, even when they're begging and offering $24 to start help right now, you will not get hired. They will look at your employment history. They'll see, oh, you're one of those people that sat out on unemployment and fucking Social Security and food stamps, and you didn't do a fucking thing to help society. You are plague. You're not useful. You're not proactive enough. What were you doing that entire year, sir? What were you doing that entire year? They'll look at you and they'll toss that interview paper up. They'll rip it in half. You're like, all right, fuck you. Next person. All right, next paper. Okay, Jim Bob. Oh, 6 months? A little better than a year, but fuck you too, man. Next person. Oh, you were employed a couple months ago? All right, fine. All right, you have the job. Just let the people get fucking hired. I get people... Here's another fucked up one. Let me give this example. I'm not going to specify this person's name, but they're a good friend of mine. I'm not going to mention this. I'm not going to mention their name or a huge background to this. But he worked for one company for about 3 years. And then one day, they did a background check on him. And he has a criminal history. And they find that. Well, they turn around and say, oh, we can't have you here. You're fired. He goes, what? And he was scheduled to work a full-time shift. And they were like, yeah, no, we did a background check on you again. You're fired. I'm like, when I heard that, I'm like, how the fuck are you going to hire him for 3 years and then say you never done a background check on him for 3 years? And suddenly him having a criminal history, and he's never done anything for the 3 years he worked for the company. He showed up every day, called whenever he was called in, he came in. He never had a complaint, never called out, did all his work every single day. And when he went in for when he was called back, he's like, yeah, we have to terminate you because of a background check. I go, how the fuck? And by the way, if you're curious of the background check, it was a sex charge. Nothing major. He did something. The person in question, she did something stupid as a child, while still 17. Did something completely stupid and it was fucking dumb. I barely talk to this person anymore, and she's just an idiot. My point is, the companies judge people, and then they fucking don't turn around and follow their own fucking policies. Let me give one such example. Back in 2015, it was 2015. I worked overnight in Home Depot, unloading trucks, just quietly, not a big deal. It was like basically 30, 40 hours a week. For me, it was basically part-time, and I just didn't give a shit. I did that in addition to my online work, eBay, and my fucking Google AdWords sales, my stock exchange portfolio, Patreon, a few other fucking things I've been doing all nonstop all over the years, and most of that shit I don't even discuss. But my point that I'm getting at is that I did that job, and one day we use order pickers and shit inside the store. We'll go up into the bays and we'll scan shit in, pull it down, or scan it out of the bay and pull it down or put it up, whatever. And we would use our PDIs to pull the stuff up and down. Well, you're not allowed to, quote unquote, use an electronic device on a vehicle on one of their lifts. So they turn around and they're like, oh, well, you also don't have a license to use this. Well, they gave me the training, gave me the e-learning, and they said, okay, you're certified, you can use it. But when I asked and inquired, when can I get the license? Oh, we'll print one out. And then several months go by, and then I bring it up, and I'm like, am I ever going to get this paperwork? I've been doing this all this time. You guys have been telling me to do it. And they told several others. They then turn around and they terminate half of the overnight people because they didn't want to pay for anyone to have a license for that shit. They also wanted to hide that behind, he was breaking safety violation. He was using it was called a first one, but it's called a PDI, really. You're using an electronic device on one of the lift equipment, you're terminated. That's how they got around that. That is possibly the stupidest thing ever, and they got into a lawsuit a couple years later, and the people that managed that store are no longer in that store because they had a lawsuit filed against them. And I didn't even join the class action. I didn't want to. I didn't want my name on fucking pen and paper. I said, fuck that. That is not worth my time. I already have another job. Because it was literally a couple years after I was gone, they were like calling me up, oh, would you like some extra money for a lawsuit because you were terminated for falsified reasons and we found this out, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't give a fuck anymore, lady. Fuck off. I got better things to do with my time than show up for court and just try to get a little fucking tiny lump sum from some indescribable piece of shit that knew that he did fucking wrong and was a lazy fuck and didn't want to give anyone their fucking paperwork. So, again, I don't deal with people's bullshit. I didn't deal with people's bullshit back then when I was asking questions back then. And they were honest answers. If you had done your training for using a forklift, for example, if you were me, would you have not have asked for certification for paperwork? It's like getting a car and then not getting your license and then just driving it. And then the motor vehicle telling you, oh, you can drive it without a license. Go ahead. Go fucking nuts. We won't pull you over. And then you get pulled over. It's like, what the fuck? I mean, it's realistic. It's questionable. You can think about it. I mean, fuck, man. I got a life husk. Give me 1 second. I can't hear anything right now. Fucking Jesus. My point is, like, when you are an employer and you're this judgmental person and maybe you're under policy and you can't hire someone, the policy got to change at that point. I've seen policies of companies that were around since the 1800s.
Hey, Maris, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm getting hammered tonight. Having fun. What about you, man?
Not much. I'm doing my podcast right now.
Oh, that's fucking awesome. Am I on air?
Yeah, you're on air.
That's awesome. That's great.
I don't know if you are on air, but like, yeah, you can
Yeah,
double check
feels
for
good
me
to be
because I
on
don't.
air.
You can double check for me. Is my
Yeah,
pal BDX
I'm
going?
gonna go in private tab. I'm gonna check your podcast. I was hanging out at your place last month. What did you think about that?
It was pretty good.
Yeah, did you like that Genesee?
Genesee. Oh yeah, that was pretty good shit.
Yeah, that is some good shit. Way better than Pabst and Budweiser, huh?
Yeah. No, I was talking about fucking job interviews. So, in your experience, tell me the most bullshit thing you've ever experienced in a job interview before.
Well, I did a paid internship as a part of like a special program with people with certain stuff going on. The guy that was he was the new owner of the business, and what's interesting about this guy is oh, you're wearing a suit. That's awesome.
I know I did
This
it for the joke.
guy, when he did my resume, when he was reading my resume, he sounded like a fourth grader reading a newspaper, and he's supposed to be the new owner of the company. Another crazy goddamn thing is that's the same guy that was watching porn. He was going to show me a work assignment, and he was going to open up his web browser and say, "Can you pull this code to put advertisements within the periphery of a virtual reality thing called Decentraland, which is a blockchain game?" It was like a work assignment that was like not a part of the paid internship, and he was going to pay me in cryptocurrency, but
The
he
fuck?
opened up his web browser and he was watching porn on a MacBook. So, and it was so funny. Yeah, this it's a black guy, and that's where I learned smells like the devil's green in here, because that place was pretty sketchy, and they would bring some people would bring drugs, and there was a marijuana cannabis. This is back when it was illegal, but it was a marijuana cannabis vape, and he was all like, "Smells like the devil's green in here."
Oh, God.
And I thought that was so fucking awesome. One time when somebody was smoking like a cigar at like a friend's house, it was just like a different person I
I
hung out with.
just I just had
I
a
said the same
troll.
thing, and I was like, "Smells like the devil's green in here." So I
VDX,
thought that was so
I
funny.
just had a troll say in the comment section earlier that my last podcast was me talking about how I'm rubbing money in cars into people's faces. I'm like, the fuck? That's not what I fucking do, dude. I'm sorry. I don't think you watch me enough. I think you
Yeah.
got the wrong person.
So that job interview, it was like the first time I was there for the interview, he actually did not show up, and he was late, and he was like irresponsible. But I saw my colleagues my future colleagues behind the counter, and I was there with like a person who had driven me this, or like, not sure if they drove me, but I was with this woman who was a part of the program to get people paid internship sort of jobs, and it was for a certain number of hours or up to um, a little over 1,000 paid. So, and then it stops, and it was they like to do these internship programs, I guess because they have like an extra hand, and then they get to be sketchy and taking these TVs and computer parts, and then you know, um, yeah, it was really sketchy place. I got like a lot
Did
to
you
talk
have
about there, but those guys were pretty cool. It's just I don't know. I didn't I had like a medical episode, and I went to the hospital that year, so I wasn't able to complete the internship. But it wasn't their fault or anything, and they weren't like bad
it
people.
wasn't?
It was
Okay.
just it was just that they were kind of unprofessional, incompetent, and just from like a ghetto.
So,
Yeah.
would you say that you had any other experiences other than that job?
Not really. I spent a lot of time, working on my stuff, or working
Huh?
on myself, and trying to figure out how to make better money than working in a convenience store or something like that, and trying to be more a self-made man. So I'm very against things like uh, college or high school diplomas, or working, or things that seem very, I'm a different kind of guy. So I feel like I'm trying to figure out how to make the jobs rather than take the jobs, if that makes any sense. I'm not sure if you watch George Hotz, or Luke Smith. They have like some sort of streams and live streams and podcasts, and what they talk about is how it's almost unnecessary to be proud of your diplomas and your certifications
I'm not either.
when things like software and programming are very lucrative and actually creative fields. It's just it doesn't seem like an art form like music, but it is actually very creative. It's like engineering creative. I mean, you can do a lot of stuff with that. But I guess I'm hijacking your podcast.
No, you're fine.
Oh, you should. I was thinking about greyhounding back down to your place. There's this other Genesee brand stuff. This is a Genesee specialty ruby red Kolsch, and I think you'll really like this. But it's a limited run, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna bring a pack of beer with me on a greyhound. So I don't know what that's about.
You're gonna take the Greyhound bus or a
I
train
might take
station?
a greyhound or something, or figure out. I haven't done that before, so I might greyhound to like somebody I know, and then you know
Make
have
sure you
somebody
have.
drive me back so I have the experience with the Greyhound. And I'm not
Make
sure if they
sure.
search bags, but
Well,
there was a psyop where some person attacked somebody with a knife on a Greyhound, and it was like the 9/11 of Greyhounds, and now they have to, I think, search some bags.
well, make sure you have extra money for Uber trip back all the way from here, just in case, because you never know if a fucking train or a fucking bus breaks
Oh
the
yeah,
fuck down. Or an emergency where you have to hightail it the fuck back, like really quick. Like, let's say something happens at home, you need to find out what the fuck happened. You go back home, you know.
Yeah. I actually have to. I should invest in a surveillance system that I can log
Invest
into
in
with a password.
Dogecoin. Invest in Dogecoin. This is
Yeah,
the next
invest in
thing to
crypto.
fucking hear.
I haven't talked to you in a long time, and it just sucks.
Dude, I've been so fucking
I'm
busy.
surprised that even with coronavirus and, we have the same goddamn lighting. I should turn on my webcam. I should show you this. Not on stream, though. Not on stream, but...
It won't come up on stream. The only thing that's gonna come up is
Alright,
my
good,
camera.
because but yeah, I'm on podcast live if you're gonna see my webcam. You see my lighting?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see this?
Yep. So you got rainbow lighting too?
Yeah, this is my office.
Is you got LEDs on the
Right.
roof? Do you got LEDs above you too?
I have 4 strips. I got one right here that is over here. I got another strip here.
Ah,
I got
shit.
one that's taped to the wall like vertically, and one that's going over the window here. And I got LEDs in my computer and in my CPU fan and in my graphics card. And I also have LEDs in my skull. And I recently found out that the FBI put cameras in my food. And when I opened up a sub sandwich that I got from Subway, they had this entire like Sony Xperia camera. It was huge. I didn't know how I didn't notice it. They had like there was us like this last time I had like a peanut butter jelly sandwich, and those big cameras they have at film sets. It was just
Yes.
like that, but there was a piece of bread and some jelly on top of it. It was so crazy.
What the
I'm
fuck?
joking. I'm joking.
I fucking know you're
I
joking,
think
but
Dr.
fucking
Phil
Christ.
McGraw did that. I think he broke into my house and put
Oh
cameras
my
in my
fucking.
food. I don't know why, but
What the fuck? It's always a fucking treat when I fucking have you on. Or whenever I fucking talk to you, because it's
my
like
dad
crazy
is
nonsense
telling
you'd
me
expect.
that there's federal agents across the street and is telling me to look for a Honda CRV. And I actually went like and reality checked it for him, and it's just a baseless paranoia. And I went across the street and found a Honda CRV, and they have like a firefighter sticker on their car. And my dad thinks that they're an FBI agent, and he like
What?
genuinely believed that the reason why I was demotivated and depressed and not really working a lot on my game project was because they were sending energies into my home to make me demoralized, like a Havana syndrome thing or whatever.
What do you think of the U.S. federal government employment laws? Like, for example, to state, you have to you're charged if all you do is not attempt to do interviews. You'll be charged a fine as an employer. How do you view that?
I don't know anything about federal employment laws. I think is that for specific jobs? Like what I'm wondering
It is
is
for anything. It is for any type of job that where they can hire in
okay.
general.
But if
Any
somebody was
corporate
running a
business.
game studio, I know that there's laws where I think you're forced to hire at least one person who's disabled. Like, but is there a guy with Down syndrome working at Rockstar North? I don't know.
I don't know. Probably as a janitor or something. Maybe as an actual game dev. You don't know these things. Like you'll go in and expect everyone to be super uptight, but like you can't do that anymore. B, you should be doing that, but most places, all they'll do to get around that hiring process is that they will interview them and say that, oh, we attempt to hire them on, we attempt to reach out and call them, but they never showed up, and they'll show some fake transcript or something, and that's how they get out of paying any fines or surcharges.
Oh yeah, but
And
like
I feel like
I'm
it's a
not
huge
sure if
time waster. You'll go
I'm
to
not,
a job physically, you'll sit the fuck down, wait to be called in an hour or two, and then when you get called the fuck in, you do your interview. Maybe they have open-ended questions. Most people can't answer open-ended job questions, especially people with their first job. Um, I'm pretty sure you might have been the same way. You're like, oh, you gotta answer open-ended fucking job interview questions. You're not gonna fucking know how to respond to that shit, especially if it's your first job. Like I said, and maybe your social anxiety acts up, and all you do is you sit there and you say, well, I don't really have an answer for that. Yeah. And if you say yeah or at all in the fucking interview, you're done. You don't have the job, because that's how anal people are nowadays. And
they're
now
so anal, they're just butt
I
plug.
today I just got offered over the phone 2 days ago. I got offered over the phone a job. They said, "Oh well, we sent you an email to come in for the interview. All you have to do is follow the email instructions." I'm like, "All right." I'm like, "That's kind of weird." So I go on the email instructions. It says, "Oh, we're going to be talking to you for about 2 hours. You're going to send a 20-minute video in answering these 3 or 4 questions that are all open ended that you have to come up with." And then within an hour, we'll call you back, and then we'll connect to you, and we'll talk to you for a straight hour. So I didn't even go to a person in person. I sent in a half-hour clip that they watched, and then they called me back, and I sat there and talked to them again for another hour. So all in all, I spent about like fucking 4 hours on one job interview. And I'm just like thinking to myself, and I just broke my fucking glasses. Whatever. The point is, I spent 4 hours where I could have just gone to the place in fucking person. It's literally 10 minutes down the street from me. I can't believe I just broke these. Then again, it was about time. They were breaking.
Yeah, it's about time I spread those cheeks.
Actually, I can fix those. It's not the end of the world. My point being, not the cheeks, the glasses. But the point I'm trying to fucking get is, when you got interviews that are so fucked up, and this is not going to work without these glasses. I'm just going to put them on with one hook. I don't give a fuck. There we go. At least it looks good, right? At least it looks official. We'll,
Like
we'll,
Sam Pie.
we'll pretend that they're still on, just piece by piece. There we go. They're still on, right? All right, we're good. It's all fake ruse. Even underneath this, okay? Job interview closed too. Fuck them, okay? Fuck them. Underneath this, I have a ripped shirt because this shirt's too fucking small. You can get away with a lot of shit in job interviews, and even cheat sheets and shit. Or like maybe you don't want
But
to
can you
fucking
like
sit there.
urinate on their desk?
Probably get away with that if they walk the fuck away. Like, I got a pocket in here. I could put a fucking flask in here. Maybe I want to drink at the fucking interview. You want to go to the bathroom?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm not gonna give them
you need.
a resume. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give them just a really hot pie. You know, like it's an apple cherry pie and it's just nice and warm. That's what I'm gonna do.
What's next? You're gonna tell me you're gonna put your hair in it? But like, you could go into the job interview, and then ask the person you're about. Oh, where's the bathroom at, by the way? And then just go to the bathroom, pull out a. All right, I'm ready for the fucking stupid job interview. I don't give a fuck. Let's go. That can sometimes surprisingly work. You just have to hide the smell of alcohol. Usually, you carry some mints on you for that, and that works too.
I'll just tell them I'm using hand sanitizer so I don't catch coronavirus.
I'm kind of sad I broke this.
So I can wash off the chlamydia from the handshake from the disgusting CEO. Person interviewing me is the CEO because I got clout, and that guy's got STDs on his hands.
I think I fixed them, but
I got
they're
bone spurs
they're still
that
kind of
hurt my
fucked.
knees and ankles. and ankles.
I still can't believe I broke these glasses. I'm so mad. Oh well, I'll have to get new ones. But again, that's what happens when you got money. But anyway, I got another 15 minutes of my podcast left that I can discuss anything.
Awesome.
But
Can
like,
I teach you how to use OBS to make this stream dope?
I know what you're trying to say and try to do. Unfortunately, I haven't maxed the fuck out. The programming, the hardware for my fucking camera's fucked. It's my hardware. I can't improve it.
Animated GIF of like your logo and put it in the corner or something like that. You know.
That's YouTube. That's a static image. You can't change that to be animated.
No, and I'm not talking about YouTube. I mean like on your stream when you got OBS. You can put it in the video when you live stream. You know what I'm saying?
But they already have the watermark.
You see my webcam? All right, check this out. I got this thing called a virtual camera. So, because I'm using OBS on Linux, so if anybody out there is planning on hacking my computer,
your camera's off.
Are isolated to not be able to. Yeah, you see how it acts like share screen?
Well, I didn't want to talk about like random stuff like improving quality and stuff for 15 minutes.
But
what I wanted to talk about
share screen. You see what I mean? So
you're not showing anything yet.
So you see how I got like OBS right here and the webcam?
Oh.
So I can actually,
BDX. I don't want to talk about like improving streams for the next 15 minutes. I still wanted to talk about like job interview stuff. It just stuff related to it. You know what I mean? I'm trying to say like I could talk about that all day. Right now, my hardware that I'm using in the other room is like several years outdated and not useful to actually do what I'm trying to do. I don't have the USB bandwidth. I have a lot of new tech that's like 2021, and I'm using a motherboard that's like from fucking 2010. If that gives you a summary of what I'm working with here. I'm definitely in need of a USB overhaul. Not only a USB bandwidth overhaul for a motherboard, but also a GPU. Which I don't have access to any of that stuff for right now. Are you still there? BDX? You there? Well, I think he died. That sucks. Rip Harambo. So I got, like I said, 13 minutes, 14 minutes, realistically 12 minutes to talk about job interview processes and due process and what I view of them. Okay, I feel like this is something that employers need to change. The outlook on needing to hire people over hiring professional people or just hiring people in general. I've seen managers, even my own family members that are managers of stores, they'll refuse to reach out to people because they feel like that they'll be begging for help. And the pathetic thing of this is you're managing a store, you're going to be asking people to help. You're going to be calling them. Hey, can you come to fucking your, like, look, please, I need you in my workplace right now. I need you here. I need you at the warehouse. I need you at the store. I need you.
All right, I need you here. I had to restart Discord. It just like.
Yeah, I was wondering what happened to you. You disappeared. The last 10, well, we got like 11 minutes left. I wanted to talk about like side job stuff, like job interview related things and employment. I wanted to like finish it off at the hour mark and then end it right there. So I was reviewing how these employers are afraid to be, quote, looked at as beggars. And then you have other employers that are threatening to go to other employers. And this happened to me recently, and this is why I left one of my jobs, which is why I'm currently going through interviews, because I want another job. They threatened to go to my wife's job just to get me to come in and threaten their boss. It's like, yeah, no, you're done. No, I'm not dealing with that kitty shit. You can go fuck right off. Have a good day. And it's just like, I said that and I walked out on him. I'm like, I feel good.
Have a good day.
And shortly after that, I got offered 3 different jobs, all different pay, all different hours, all different locations.
Dude, you need to film your job interviews.
Nah, I can't do that.
No, I mean, like, you got a hidden camera, you can do that shit. You can Tom Green it.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, but like, I'm not gonna do that. Not for this.
You should. In case they say something funny, you can make a song out of it.
Of course, you would want to make a music video out of it. I mean, I could get away with something like that.
I'm still editing the music video that we filmed.
Oh, that's good. So, by the way, guys, off side note, I helped BDX here film a music video walking through my town on the shoulder of a road. Dangerous at night. It was just a back camera shot, and I walked with him for about half an hour. Walking down the shoulder of the road at like fucking 11 o'clock at night. Dope as fuck. But I should probably get out of these interview clothes, but unfortunately underneath I have ripped up shirt. Because, hey, BDX, how do you feel, and I don't know if you're looking at my podcast right now, but I'm unbuttoning this work shirt. So how often have you japed? Have you, like, tried to Jimmy shit for an appearance?
Jimmy shit for an appearance and shave my body?
No, I mean just Jimmy shit to work. It's almost all the time, right? So how would you have expected that the shirt that I'm wearing has no sleeves underneath and I ripped them off because they're uncomfortable as fuck? I look like a fucking biker underneath this. I could take this off and literally hop on a fucking motorcycle right now and fuck off and put black shades on and not give a fuck. Unbutton this, do that. Like, literally, you could go from looking like a neat businessman to just ripping this off. All right, fuck this shit. And just hop on a bike, put on a fucking motorcycle helmet, just go fuck off down the street. Rip this off and put on a... Yeah, exactly. Meme Motorcycle Club. Yeah, I could fucking do that.
The Meme Motor Charter.
So now I just look a regular Joe that fucking sits in a bar now.
Bastards, let's kill the memes. Yeah, I was looking into biker gangs for the game.
The point is, employment, the federal government for employment is complete bullshit. They never make any fucking sense. They never push the right regulations. No employer and no company ever follows the Employer Act. The basic one that's been around for fucking years, since the 90s. And it needs to be fucking changed because most businesses are so out fucking dated that they still believe in old policies should not be the same. One such example was in food industry for another friend of mine. Not me, somebody else. They're a male with hair as long as mine down the shoulder length, but they can't work, they can't get the job. They were refused the job because of their hair. But they have another employee there that has hair down to his ass crack. And they have girls there with hair down to their ass crack. Yet he couldn't be hired because his hair was down to here. He immediately got a lawsuit and won. It's like...
Dicks.
Yeah, like, what the fuck? It's basically that. They're basically fucking dickheads, man. I mean, that's just one such fucking example. It really fucking is. No, I'd never fucking work in the food industry. That's just a pile of fucking shit. I'll work at stores first. But fucking Jesus, man. It's fucking stupid. So fucking dumb. Imagine, and that's, by the way, that's viewed as sexist because you gotta remember, all these women that work in the food industry have their hair down to their ass crack for the most part, or halfway down their back. You know, long-haired women, of course. Right? But then they won't hire a guy because he's not bald. But now they, you know, they won't hire men with long hair, but they'll hire women with long hair, and they don't need to wear a hairnet or anything in the food industry. And they'll walk around with phones. They'll walk around with phones hanging out the back of their ass crack, and you just visibly see it. And you're just sitting there, and you're like, "What the fuck?" And you're a representation of the company here that I'm coming in for. It's like. And then some of them are wearing visors and food nets, and the other ones aren't. You ever walk into, and this is a nice example of the way to say it, go into your local fast food place, your McDonald's or your Burger King or whatever, and it doesn't matter, maybe the whole crew is all black and maybe one or two white people, or maybe it's the reverse. It doesn't really matter the diversity, but just look at the way all those individuals dress, regardless of what race it is or gender. Just look at how they dress. Look at their hair lengths. Look at their phones hanging out the back of their asses. Are they walking around with a thong visible hanging out the back of their ass? Which, by the way...
Whale tail.
Yeah, basically. I went to a fucking McDonald's about 3 months before I quit this one fucking job. My last one. And I walked in, I sat down, and this white girl, probably in her mid-20s, about my age, about our age, basically. And she's walking around. She's in her uniform. She's got a visor on, no hairnet, blonde hair down to here with pink highlights running through the back of it, multiple ones. And then she's got a blue fucking thong pulled high up with a tattoo on her ass, and her pants pulled slightly down. I'm just like,
what did the tattoo say?
it was a butterfly tattoo. I'm just sitting
Oh,
there. I'm like,
said, if you're reading this, you better be erect. Or something.
like, bro, I was literally sitting there. I was dipping McNuggets. I'm just like,
dipping McNuggets.
there's some good nuggies. I'm just sitting there. I'm just like,
good nuggies.
like I was just like this.
If you can read this.
And I looked to my left, and then all the employees are there looking at me. The manager was a male my age. All the employees were also male. All of them white, and they were all looking at me while I was sitting there eating that. And I'm just like,
man, you're just eating your nuggies.
I'm just like, dude, I don't fucking care. I'm just sitting here enjoying myself.
Whoa, you're eating your nuggies.
And then I see that girl get her ass slapped, and I'm just like, whoa, okay.
Whoa, who slapped her ass?
One of the employees. I'm like, what the fuck? It was behind
damn,
it was behind the counter, and they pretended like it didn't happen. And I asked one of the employees when another male that came up. He was cleaning the fucking tables around me. I asked him, like, did one of your coworkers just slap her ass? And she's like, yes.
They have another can.
Dude, fucking another little fun side story, okay? Talking about that type of shit, we had this 22-year-old girl at the local mall during a hiring event that me and Hunter both knew. And really skimpy fucking thing, you know, honestly, skimpy, edgy little girl, goth, probably an 8 in your bar, right? She was out in the open.
Rate them on a scale of like 0 to 10, and I usually put people in the middle.
Well, she'd probably be an 8 on your fucking spectrum for being edgy as fuck with nosebleeds and all that shit. Like, this girl would cut herself. She walked around the mall during multiple hiring events in the food court, and then literally stripped her pants off, pulled out a marker, and then held up a sign that says free ass signings, $1. $1 to sign my ass. Sign anywhere else. I'm like, me and Hunter are like, what the fuck? Yo, what's good, bro? Matt, what's up? I don't remember her name. I don't know who it is. But me and Hunter, we remember.
File a restraining order.
I remember Hunter fucking sign her ass and fucking would nonstop mention it. I never got the girl's name, or I don't remember the day it even happened. I just remember I watched him walk up to her, and she just had marker writing all over her ass, and then eventually security all fucking came, and then there's a huge gathering. It was just like, what the fuck? And this same mall is the same local mall that fucking Snoop Dogg stopped at not even fucking a year ago. And it's just like, we're sitting here, we got all these people that are coming in, they're fucking high as a kite, and they're signing some girl's fucking ass. Yeah, in a public fucking setting, too. And it's like, what the fuck?
Damn, which bathroom was it? Was the one I was in?
It wasn't a bathroom. That's the best part. She did it clear as day in the food court. She literally dropped her pants near butt naked, only wearing a Speedo. And pretty much just straight up said, everyone sign my ass.
Damn.
And then she's just stripped down into like a fucking ripped wet tank top. Because it was raining out. She's like, everyone sign me. $1. She basically walked away with like a couple $100.
Whoa. This is a real story, I can tell, because it's not been audited.
What do you mean it's not been audited?
I can't verify I can't fact check it. Facebook. This is extremist content.
Bro, I mean, it's fucking happened. It was years ago.
Damn it.
A lot of shit fucking happened at that mall. I gotta fucking tell you. I've seen somebody smash a fucking beer bottle over someone's fucking head there, man.
What do they look like?
The girl or the person that got the beer bottle smashed over their head?
Both.
Well, I don't remember the fucking beer bottle incident. I only heard about it there, but I didn't fucking doubt it didn't happen. I mean, you've seen fucking video footage of that mall. It was fucking crazy. The girl, however, had curly hair with blue highlights.
Ew.
It was not really curly. It was more like kind of like Betty curls. You know what I mean? Like long, straight coil curls. But like all black, but one of the lines was highlighted blue. Eyeliner, nail polish, all that stuff.
So not goth, just a poser.
No, she was. She was emo too. She cut herself a lot. She had cut marks down her arms that she was asking people to sign over.
And what was her name?
I can't remember her name. That's the worst part.
Think of a letter.
I couldn't tell you, BDX. I couldn't tell you. I'd have to ask Hunter. And I haven't talked to him as of late, but I'm going to soon. So when I get around to that...
has the same last name as one of the guys who did the Oklahoma City bombing.
Now that I think about that, that's kind of fucked. But yes, it is. But then again, he's also the kind of guy that walked around with a Nazi flag wrapped around his neck like a cape.
Yeah.
The people I know. The people I know.
Yeah, the people you know. It's not about what you know, it's about who you blow.
Oh, God. I can't remember what that girl's name was, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to head to sleep here.
They don't sound attractive, they sound heavy set. Is that true?
What?
They don't sound attractive, they sound heavy set.
They were thin as fuck.
Oh,
she died a lot. She was anorexic as fuck. She was literally bones.
Oh, she was boners? Alright.
She was like rib cages, man. Rib cage sewing. She literally played fucking xylophone on her fucking chest, like the fucking Family Guy episode, man.
Jesus,
that thin.
And she was a cutter, huh?
Yep.
Any piercings?
Yeah. Facial and nips. Which we saw through her wet shirt because it was raining out that day.
And
I wasn't really looking though. Yeah. Tattoo down her left leg. She was like 19, 18, 22. This was like years ago. She's probably my fucking age now, to be honest. Or close to it. I don't fucking know. And probably either is dead from an overdose or hooked up with a chick. I have no fucking clue.
Yeah,
my point that I'm getting at, I gotta end my podcast here because I'm out of rant. I've ranted my last rant about job interviews. I just feel like the whole concept of them.
Feelings for people like that really sucks.
I just feel like the whole concept of job interviews is completely fucking stupid. Like, if you're gonna fucking sit here and go through the online process, which by the way I disapprove highly of fucking online applications. Do them in fucking paper. Do them in person. Okay, I get the convenience of it, but the problem is you don't get the same satisfaction when you go to a fucking person or a manager in person and present yourself, present your attitude flow, see if they like you, and if they like you, you get fucking hired. With online, that don't fucking happen. You don't really see your personality. You have to show it now. How do you show it to a fucking online form now? It's like, really? Okay, that's your fucking due process? So when places like that are fucked and employment rates are down, they then know fucking why they're down. It's because they don't give two flying fucks for the basic human being that wants a fucking job, and that's most of America. So, that being fucking said, this is the end of my podcast. My 24th episode was job interviews. My 25th episode podcast, again, I have no fucking title, no future planning, no nothing. I don't have all that off the top of my head. I usually fucking do, but as of late, I have been so fucking busy and pounded with fucking goddamn just additional shit that I've been putting myself through. Spending additional time trying to plan out a fucking vacation, plan down fucking marriage papers, a bunch of other bullshit through the court that it's a fucking nightmare right now. I have so much fucking strain on me right now that I can't even fucking focus on a single podcast. Can't be blamed for it though, because I have been trying. So anyway, this is the end of my podcast. I don't know when the next one's going to be. I will post it in my Discord.
Ass.
Yes. It'll be down below in the description. BDX joined me for this podcast. Anyone is free to join any of these podcasts. They are down below in the Discord. All you have to do is when I announce that I'm going to be doing a podcast, you just go down below and you join the voice channel. Most of them are open mic, just like this one. That means BDX can say whatever the fuck he wants. He can outright say the hard R. Although I hope he doesn't, because obviously that's a big fucking deal. And, snowflake sensitive words and all that shit. But
Nutrition.
that doesn't have an R at the end, but that works. You could have said nicer or something.
That's what Paula Dean said. That's what got her in trouble.
What, for saying nutrition?
Yep.
How the fuck do you get in trouble for saying nutrition? I don't even know how to respond to that. That's news to me.
In war class, the war of nutrition. It's when you run out of nutrition or something.
This is the end of my podcast. Thank you for watching. If you've sat through me ranting about how bullshit the fucking the federal government, the state, and all private community-run fucking businesses.
I'm commenting while I play. Let's do this shit. If you like the video, maybe like the video and favorite the video and subscribe to see videos similar to this one. See ya.
God fucking damn
it. It's just a theory. A meme.
Don't. Oh god. Okay. Yeah. No. That's it. Nope.